Okay, here's our next screencast on making explicit formulas by looking at concrete patterns. So here's my new pattern up here at the top, and I'm going to do the same as last time. I'm going to make the 4th frame and the 7th frames just to highlight the difference between recursion and explicit formulas. I'm going to do the first one recursively. So here's number 4. So I'm going to look across the bottom of each of the ones that are here, and I start with 3, I go to 4, I go to 5, so that must mean I need 6 dots on the bottom. And then I do the same thing, looking on the side, so I've got 2, 3, 4, and that means I'm going to need 5. Alright, so I'm just going to match these up across the top, down this other side, and then I need to draw lines to connect my dots. Alright, so then I need to calculate my perimeter. So my perimeter, you've got to be careful on this one, my perimeter is adding up the lengths of each of these units. So across the top I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the bottom's going to match. It's going to be 5. The side is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. This side, 4. So my total perimeter is 18. So now when I do the 7th one, and you should pause for a second and see if you can draw the 7th one explicitly, meaning you don't have to rely on counting up from the 4th frame, but instead rely on the frame number. So pause for a second, see if you can do that, and then come back and you can watch me do it and check your work. So I am going to explicitly take a look at how many dots I need. So on the 1st frame I had 3. On the 2nd frame I had 4. On the 3rd frame I had 5. So it seems to me I need 2 dots more than the frame that I'm on. So if I'm on the 7th, I'm going to need 9. Alright, now I'm going to do the up and down. So again, 1st frame is 2, 2nd frame is 3, 3rd frame is 4. So the number going up and down is 1 more than the frame. So I am going to need 8. So there's 1, this is my 2nd, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then across the top I need to add 7 more here in the middle. Missed 1 there. Alright, connect these lines as neatly as I can. So I'm counting the perimeter across the top here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Along the side, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the bottom will be 8. The side here will be 7. So I've got 15 and 15. So that's a total of 30. Alright, so now we go down and we're going to do the 19th frame, and we want to figure out the perimeter. And I don't know about you guys, but I definitely do not want to have to draw all of these dots. So instead, I'm going to see if I can figure this out. And I'll draw just kind of a quick sketch of what's going on. But essentially, I'm going to have a rectangle that's going to be made up of dots with little lines in between the dots. And I want to know what the lengths of the sides are. I don't really care about the dots at this point. So if I go back and I look explicitly, when I was on the 4th frame, it was 4 and 5 on the bottom. The 7th frame was 7 and then 8 on the bottom. So I'm doing the 19th frame. So I can figure out and label this thing. This is going to be the frame number for the vertical part. So that's 19 and 19. And it's going to be one more than that across the bottom. It's going to be 20 and 20. So when I add up this perimeter, 2 20s is 40, and 2 19s is 38. So I'm going to have a total of 78. All right. If I were you again, I would pause and see if you can do this formula without my help, and then just come back and check. So I'm going to draw my rectangle. I'm working on my nth frame this time. So I learned so far that the perimeter of the vertical sides is exactly that of the frame. So if I'm on the nth frame, the length of my vertical sides is n. And I've learned that my horizontal sides is exactly one more than my frame number. So that makes it n plus 1. So now I'm going to add up these 4 sides, because that's how I get perimeter. I add up the sides. So I'm going to have n plus 1 plus n plus 1 plus an n plus an n. So I've added the 4 sides, n plus 1 plus n plus 1 plus n plus n. So again, if you're going to mess it up when you try to simplify it, don't. But if you can simplify it, you can do that and say, hey, this is going to be 4n plus 2. Now I can use this nice, neat formula to get an answer for, hey, what's a perimeter when n is 32, or when I'm doing my 32nd frame. So all I need to do is take my 32, plug it in to my formula. So I have 4 times 32 plus 2. So 4 times 32, that's 128, plus 2, looks like 130.